Hi there, welcome to today's series where we're going to be working through just the ranges of movement that you need for your body to be staying in its optimal health. So there are a few ways that we move. We call them flexion and extension, which is forward and backward, side bending or lateral flexion, rotation, and it's as simple as that. So let's go and have ourselves a little bit of movement with that experience. So as we come down onto our backs to begin, just making sure everything is well aligned from the top of the head down towards your tail. And then just feel your limbs. So your legs should be in line with your hip joints, which are nice and close here to the inside of your pelvis. And your arms are on the outside of your body. You can turn your palms to face up or down, really doesn't make a difference. So once you've got that feeling of awareness behind you, we're going to start with the pelvis rolling back, peeling your spine up into the air, and then lowering your body back down to the floor through the curl. So here's one of our first moves through what we call that flexion-based exercise. So rolling the pelvis away from the floor, aiming your knees out in front of you, and then returning the body back to the ground surface. So really picturing the movements of your spine as you're doing this, that curling backward, and then pausing at the top, and then softening the whole of the spine back to the mat again. And we'll do that one last time as we raise the hips up into the air, and then feeling the classic sort of coming down vertebra by vertebra through the back of your body. So that was flexion based from the pelvis. Now we're going to do that from the top of the head. So hands are going to swing around and hold the backs of your head. Elbows are just lifted up out of your peripheral vision, and we're going to nod the top of the head forward. So curling yourself up, looking between the legs, and then lowering yourself back down again. So it's quite good to sort of do an exhale as you roll yourself up, and then an inhale to lower yourself down. We are going to challenge that in a moment, but let's just do that another time. So breathing out to fold forward, and then breathing in to lie down. We're going to add in a breath here. So we're going to roll up on your out breath. Hold at the top and inhale right in between your shoulder blades. And then exhale and slow your body down. We'll do that 2 more times, curling up, breathing out. Inhale to the back of your body, and then exhale to the mat. And then one more time, just getting that ease and fold. So remember, if you focus on this movement being about flexibility or the motion of your spine into flexion and then back into neutral, it will be less about abdominal crunching. So from this position, we're going to flip over onto the side and just have your knees bent. You can have them 45. I like to encourage people, though, just to start at 90 so that you've got a nice sort of chair position through your body. So elbows are still bent. We're going to send an elbow to the ceiling and wrap your upper body around to the back. So here's our first introduction of rotation, and then returning your body back to your starting shape. And again, sending the arm up, twisting your spine, letting your chest bone look as far back behind you as it can, and then returning to the front. We're going to do that one more time as we come up and twist around, and then starting back at your beginning point. So from here, we've done all our movements so far just with our intention for our spine. But now we want to think those movements can also happen at our joints of our arms and our legs. So we're going to send our top arm forward. We're going to raise the arm towards the ceiling as we roll back, looking toward your hand, and then create a circle above the top of your head and come back to your start. And again, raise the arm to the ceiling, roll the head and chest backward, and circle the arm around and to the front. And we'll repeat that one last time as the arm travels up, the head looks back, and then create that rounding circle through your shoulder joint. Let your hand rest on the floor if that's comfortable, and straighten your top leg out. So we're going to feel a little bit of lengthening. I want you to imagine someone had your ankle and was pulling your leg towards the wall away from you, and then relax. So you will feel as your leg stretches out, your under gap at your waist is going to come in, and then as you relax the leg, you'll flatten into there. And we're going to stretch that leg and relax it. And we'll do 2 more times. Reach it out and long and bringing it back. And then final time out and bringing it back. Now find a happy place between the two where you're not fully out and you're not fully collapsed down. Keep your hand actually onto your top hip today, and we're going to raise the leg up and down. So moving the leg sideways, in and out, and 3 more, 2, and 1. Hold that leg high, and we're going to sweep it to the front and take it to the back. And again, sweep to the front, take it to the back. And 3 more of these. And 2, and final 1. And then bringing it all the way back down. From here, you're going to push yourself up, and we're going to find ourselves into ideally a cross-legged position or a Z-sit position. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, you can sit with your 2 legs crossed and folded if that's more suitable for your hip area. So from here, we're going to send your arms all the way out. We're going to go to my left side. So a hand goes down because that's the knee that's bent at the front. And a nice big side stretch over. So here is our side bending exercise, and then returning yourself all the way back up again. Go to the opposite direction, so lowering your hand toward the floor and stretching it across to the side, and then coming back up and repeating over towards the left, and then coming back up and over towards the right and coming back up. Now when we go to the left side again, we're going to hold that position. So pause there, enough. And then you're going to rotate yourself around, looking to the mat, reaching the arm in front of you back to the side, and then coming all the way back up again. Enough. And then down you go to the opposite side and twist, lengthening the arm out, and then return to facing forward and back. We're going to do that 1 more time on each side. So over we go, wrap and twist, back to the front and lifting up. And then last time as we go to the right and twist and back to front and coming up. Let's send those legs in the opposite way. So changing the direction. And then again, sending the arms out. So my right knee is now forward. If you were in a cross-legged position originally, then just change the leg cross over. And then we're going to lower down and stretch out. So in the side bend action, I'm not actually resting my arm on the floor. I always have a little bit of a gap of my elbow away from the mat. And the reason for that is I don't want to collapse into my underarm. I want to make my body do the work as I'm doing it from side to side. And again, stretch and reach. So, we're going over to the side and then add the rotation. So twist and back to center and up. Now, if your legs are folded like mine are, then you'll notice that when you go to the opposite side, the deepness of your stretch is not as strong and your twist is not as mobile. So that the point is that it's okay. You just want to go where your exploration takes you, how your body feels good. You never want to feel putting yourself into any type of stress, and then bringing yourself all the way up again. From here, we're going to lie onto our side position. So coming back down and setting yourself up so that we are lying down. I just had to think what we were doing. So we're going to start with our hand holding our head position. And you're going to send your top leg away. Hand onto the waist, and you're going to lengthen that leg away, creating the under waist long and return. So we're shifting the pelvis. The top leg is pressing to the wall and returning. And we're going to do that 2 more times, just making that gap in your underbody, and then relax. And then last time, sending it out and bringing it back. Now find the happy place between, and then from there we're sending our leg up and down just for 5. So can you keep the idea of a stacked pelvis, hip on top of hip? So as your leg is going up, you're not shortening the top waist, you're not shortening the bottom waist. And then holding the leg hip height as we bring it forward and take it backward. And again, to the front and to the back. Now, when we do this movement with our leg, it's quite challenging to not want to roll the pelvis. So really feeling like you're nice and stable across your middle body. And then one more time, if my counting is correct today, and then bringing that leg all the way back down. Fold both hands behind the back of your head for book openings to start. Top elbow to the sky, roll your head and chest back, and then bringing everything closed again. And then repeating 2 more times as we send the chest back and wide, and then returning to the front. And then one more time, keeping the hands behind your head for your support, and to the start. Send your top arm long and then introduce the arm to the ceiling and rotating back, maintaining your arm in line with your shoulder. Circle it above your head and bring it to the front. And then repeat, arm to the sky, open your chest, and over the top we go. One last time like that as you reach high, roll back, and then circle to close to the front. From here, we're going to pop down onto your tummy position. So just resting again into comfortable places and spaces, and just placing your elbows out at a right angle. So the nose is just going to hover off of the mat. That's going to help the muscles of the back of the neck lengthen and the tone of the front. If we drop down, then we've lost all of that work. So from this position, we're going to raise the front of the chest up, and we're going to meet our first back extension exercise, and then lowering ourselves back towards the mat. So again, you could do this on a breath out as you roll yourself to the top, and then a breath in as you lower yourself back down. We're going to do the same breathing in a moment as we did with our previous version of the chest lift, but let's just get the upper back a little bit more warm. So as you're doing this, you're maintaining the space between your ear and your shoulder, so you're not shortening and lengthening the distance. You're keeping it pretty balanced so that you don't block off the back of the neck. So on the next one, we're going to come up on your out breath. You're going to stay here. You're going to take a breath into the front of your chest wall. As you breathe out, see if you can come up a tiny bit more. Take another breath in, and then lower everything down. And then repeating, flexible through the front of the body as you lift. Inhale into the chest or the sternum. Exhale, fold a little higher. Inhale. And then exhale, lower. So we'll do that one more time as we roll the body forward, breathing into the space away from the mat. Create a little bit more backward bend of your ribs, and then returning to the ground. Now, as you come up on the next one, find your position where you feel the most comfortable to stay. From here, we're going to raise our arms away from the mat and lower them down. And repeating, arms floating and arms lowering. So this is really going to tone the back of your body as you are maintaining this extension in your spine. And you need core support just as much in a back extension as you do in a forward crunch. Hold your position here, slide the arms forward, pull the elbows deep down, and stretch them out and fold them in. And 3 more, length and short. So working into the back muscles, super toning. Last time out. Draw it in, and then lower the forearms, lower your body to the mat. So from here, we're going to go into a deeper stretch of your back. So hands are going to be placed more closely to your shoulders this time. And again, we roll the chest away from the floor. This one you're used to doing. Now we're going to be coming up a little bit more, looking out in front of us. I don't have straight arms in this position. If I straighten my arms, I'm going to lock into my low back. So you just make sure that you are working to your body's design and then returning to the ground. So as you're coming up, it's all upper back first. Then the lower back is going to get involved. Your glutes are going to get on and support your lower spine, and then returning back. You don't want to feel like you're jamming into your lower spine. You don't want to feel like you are creating a sense of distress in your body, but you do want to feel like you're creating strength around this area. And we've got another 2 of these to go as we bring our body forward and up, away from the mat surface, and then lowering ourselves back down to the ground. Last time, bringing yourself all the way to the top and then returning back to the mat surface. Beautiful. Push yourself up onto hands and knees. And then we're going to do one more rotation movement. So this one is our threading of the needle. Take your right hand and thread it through towards the left, looking down towards your left elbow, and then bring yourself up. Take it to the other side, stretch it through, and lifting it up. So as we're going through, you're going to feel a little bit of elbow bend, obviously on the left arm or the right arm, depending on which side you're going to. And it's like you're doing a single arm push-up. So focusing on the strength of that arm from your wrist all the way to your shoulder. And then one more twist to each direction. And then we're going to create a little bit of stability in our trunk. So our body is going to stay steady and we're going to move our arms and legs. So sliding limbs out, hold the position, send the arm and leg away, bring them back, and then return arm and leg underneath. Other side goes out, reach long, open, close, and return. So can you move your limbs just as far away from each other as you can keep steady in the hips and the shoulders? And again, out, move to the diagonal, back to parallel, and return. One more time to each side, still feeling nice and tall out of your front body, so not compressing through your wrists. And then last time, open and close. And back in. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. Go into a little stretch of your feet, lowering your hips down towards your heels, and then bring yourself back up. We're going to hover your knees away from the mat, send your hips to the ceiling. If you've got it, you can lower your heels to the ground. If you don't, you'll still get a stretch. Come forward and then lower those knees all the way towards the mat. And again, knees hover up. Transfer the weight backward towards your hips, lengthening your heels down to the mat, and then up on the toes and returning to the floor. One more time as we bring it all the way up. We're going to hold it at the top. From here, you're going to go into a pedaling of your feet. So one heel down and then one heel up. So just alternating. Really pay attention to your feet. Are they moving so that you can't see your heel as you go up onto your toe, or you're starting to see that your foot is rolling out? Look at the hinge of your toes. See all 10 toes staying on the mat, whether your heel is down or whether your heel is up. And then last one to each side, and then coming all the way back down onto your knees and resting from there. Well, we've had a patient little animal who's now delighted to be back in my lap. So we're going to leave it with that for today. There are so many different ways that you can move your body to incorporate those different ranges of movement: forward, backwards, side bending, and rotation. And I encourage you to do a little bit of exploration in your own body. But remember, I'm always here for more if you need it. Thanks for joining.